term homecoming royalty. More details at srnnews.com.
The following program is sponsored by the law offices of Patrick L. Smith. This is the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. Get ready with your legal questions and call Patrick now. 877-943-9673. Again, that's 877-943-9673. The law office is open. And now your host, Patrick Smith.
Oh, hi there, Attorney Patrick Smith Show Nation. You're listening to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. We're live in studio. Today is Saturday, October 1st, and we will be with you for the next hour to help any way we can. But, of course, the big topic on everyone's mind right now, the Hurricane Ian developments, currently Hurricane Ian over North Carolina, and really a remnant of what it was when it came through the Sunshine State. So we want to hear from you, Florida. How are you guys doing? So with this show reaches every bit of the part of the state that was hit and affected by the storm. So call in for your region, whether it was over in Polk County, Charlotte County, Sarasota, Manatee, wherever you were or are. And if you have a report or information, call in. How is it there? How did you fare in the storm? How is everyone doing? Call in with your story, 877-943-9673. And as usual, we will be answering all your legal questions as well. So you're welcome to call in with those as well, 877-943-9673. You can always email your questions directly to me, Patrick at attorneypatricksmith.com, Patrick at attorneypatricksmith.com. And you can visit our website as well to submit your email questions. That is attorneypatricksmith.com. You can also check out archived versions of the show, previous episodes. You can listen on demand. But we want to talk to you today, so call us and let us know how your area is doing. 877-943-9673. So wherever you are in the Sunshine State, call in with your report or your legal question, 877-943-9673, 877-943-9673. Open studio lines. Give us a call now. All right, let's go to our producer, Vern, down in Sun City Center. Hey, Vern, how are you today?
All better than I deserve. How about you, sir?
Yeah, buddy. How is everything down there in Sun City?
Everything seems to be pretty good from what I have seen. I've driven around a lot. There are quite a few trees down. Fortunately, none of the trees seem to have taken out any portions of the residents. The wind took off quite a few of the screen porch roofs that are on the back of our homes. Especially, the duplexes have them a lot, and some of the screens on some screen pools, screens around the pools, got a little bit beat up. But there's been no indication of any injury down here that is due to this. Personally, I was without power for about 24 hours, and some of the facilities down here, the senior living facilities, were upwards of 30 hours without power. But from what I understand, they're all back now. The TECO has done an absolutely magnificent job of getting us back going. Here at the station, we never went off the air. Now, that's saying something for us because we really don't have an extended backup system. There's no generator. We've got batteries. But we never went off the air. Each residence, each building, as I understand it, here has 240 volts coming in, which is two 120 lines. One of ours is down, so half of our building does not have power. But the part that does have power is the one that we're broadcasting with, and so we're glad that it's cooler outside, because the part that has the air conditioning is the part we're waiting to get repaired.
Yeah, and in terms of shout outs, we have to give one of our absolutely fantastic governor, Ron DeSantis, and the way he led the state through this terrible natural disaster, and the fact that he was able to rally support from 26 other states. I mean, there's a governor who can reach out and get the help that the state was needing and anticipated it. All the extra linemen that were brought in. And I agree with you. The work that they are doing so diligently to restore power to those areas hardest hit. And, we were supposed to, I was told, in Rocks Beach where we live, we were going to lose power right away. Like, you guys will be one of the first ones to lose power. Never lost power. had power the entire time. But then I found out in Largo, just across the bridge, they lost power almost right away. So and it was one of those, and in terms of radio show credit, that's an amazing job, Vern, never going off the air. But Joe Weaver and his team here at Salem, they were here, keeping the station on the air. So because people were relying on those radio signals to get storm updates, without power, they couldn't watch television. So people don't think about that, but radio in a storm can be a lifeline to people in those situations. So we're glad you guys are doing okay. But you and Elisa, no major damage to your home or anything like that?
Zero,
Good.
unless you count maybe the 2 palm fronds that came down off of one of the palm trees. That's it. The house is unscathed. The screen porch is unscathed. The roof is completely unscathed. It held up.
Yeah.
I told my kids early on, okay, I'm going to spend your part of your inheritance on Category 5 windows for our home, and we did, and we were very happy we did. Now, some of the other places didn't. So
the kids not so much, but I love that. Vern, I appreciate you calling in, and my regards to everyone else down there on 96.3, your community radio.
All right, buddy, and I thank you. Anytime you need me, you know where I am.
All right, Vern, we appreciate you. Have a great Saturday.
Take care.
All righty, you're listening to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. I'm your host, Attorney Patrick Smith, 877-943-9673. That's your live and local number. We are live in studio. Today is Saturday, October 1st. Call in with your report on how your area of the state is doing post-Hurricane Ian. If you have a Hurricane Ian story you want to share on the air, some good deed you saw, want to invite you to call in with that. A lot of people out there listening just kind of need that positive, good news story, something to buoy their spirits right now. Was this your first hurricane that you've been through? Was this, the worst hurricane you've been through? I think my first one that I remember was Andrew back in 92. So if you want to call in and share a hurricane memory, or of course, legal questions, we're here to answer your legal questions, but more just to be an open forum for you today than anything, so people can call in and let everybody know how various parts of the states are doing. 877-943-9673. 877-943-9673. This is the Attorney Patrick Smith Show, and you can also email your question, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com. All right, next we're going to Luke the intern. Luke, happy Saturday, buddy. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm great, Luke. So this is one of my new interns for everyone. You haven't met Luke. He hasn't been on the show yet, but we're going to fix that, right, Luke? Or I guess we're fixing it now, kind of, with you calling in.
Sounds like it.
Okay. So you've heard Lexi. We had Peter the intern, who's actually getting ready to start his law school career. So there's an update there on Peter the intern, doing great out in Texas. And Luke, where are you right now? Are you at home or are you on campus?
I'm actually currently sitting outside a gym that I'm about to head into for a workout. But
Okay.
first, I want to call into the show and check in.
All right. So what part of the state, though? You're over in Volusia? Are you in Orange County? What part of the state are you in?
We're in Winter Springs. It's on the north end of Orlando, northeast end, so Seminole County, Orange County.
How did you guys weather the storm? Because I know Orange County, especially downtown Orlando, wound up taking a harder hit than anyone really expected. How did you guys fare up in Winter Springs?
It was really hit or miss. There are people in my neighborhood that have freeze through their house, and there are people in my neighborhood, like myself, that we never lost power. Everyone in our city lost water, but that's now back. Other than that, so it was really a hit or miss thing. But there are some great stories of people who stepped up for their neighbors.
Yeah, it's always one of those times, it takes a tragedy sometimes, but people take and make the most of it. And that's, you hate that it takes a tragedy for that sort of story to come out, but it's always great to see, when the human spirit conquers a bad situation and overcomes something like that. So, and Luke the intern, you also just recently got your LSAT, your law school admissions test scores. Do you want to share with the listeners of the Attorney Patrick Smith Show what your score was?
I'm happy to. I just got my first LSAT back, and I got a 172 on it. I'm very excited about that.
Okay, for everyone out there who doesn't know the law school admissions test scoring system, 172 is 8 points shy of a perfect score. 180 is perfect. That's that's like 96th percentile, Luke, or what percentile are you in?
98 and a half about.
98 and a half. So, well, Luke, congratulations. That's some positive news we can share with everyone. One of our interns scoring very, very well there on the law school admissions test. Luke, appreciate you calling in, and we'll see you when we see you, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, have a great Saturday.
Have a great day.
All righty, listen to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show, 877-943-9673. That's your live and local number. And before we go to Dave in Sarasota, give out that number one more time. So if you want to call in with your story on how your part of the state is doing. So we've heard from Sun City Center. We've heard from Luke, the intern over in Winter Springs and the Orange and Seminole County area. We still need to hear from someone in Polk County. Would love to hear from someone in all the parts of the state where we broadcast. So call in now. Of course, you can also call in with your legal question. 877-943-9673. 877-943-9673. Or email me, Patrick at attorneypatricksmith.com. All right, let's go to Dave in Sarasota. Dave, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're great, Dave. How can we help you?
Oh, this is absolutely ridiculous. I know this might sound a little self-serving, but I live over by the Meadows. And so if you know Sarasota, I am 17th Street in Beneva, right near the Bobby Jones Golf Club.
Yeah.
We have not had power for 3 days.
Oh, wow.
Yes, thank you. You hear after a storm how all the FPL trucks are going to be out and about. In 3 days, I have not seen a single truck in our area in 3 days. Trying to get through to have somebody come over here. Oh, it's going to be on. 3 days later, we have no power.
Wow. You're giving me flashbacks to my Irma experience. And I remember being without power for days and having to go and get ready for the office with no power and just sort of what that feels like, the humidity in the house. And we were living in Claremont at the time. And I remember my wife telling me her ecstasy after, I don't remember how many days it was. It was probably like 3 or 4 days, but she said she remembers looking up and seeing the ceiling fan start to spin all of a sudden. And she's never been more excited to see a ceiling fan spin. So, Dave, we're going to send you moving ceiling fan vibes, brother. We want those power to get turned back on for you because it's going to be like an ice cream headache a little bit. You know, ice cream headaches are terrible, but when they stop, it feels so great. And when that power kicks on for you, just think about how good it's going to feel, Dave.
Yeah, what I actually feel right now is I feel, you know how when you're on the line waiting for somebody to come talk to you, like maybe somebody from Comcast or something, they say, oh, we'll be back in a couple minutes, and they never come back. You never know. Well, if I hang up right now, I may have just missed them, or I could be on there for another 24 hours. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Yeah, that thought process works both ways, Dave. You can. It takes just as much energy to think the negative thoughts like that as it does to think the positive ones. Try just as best you can to stomp out those negative ones and think those positive ones, and that'll help you get through that as best you can. But keep us up to date. Hopefully by the time we go on the air next week, you have power. But if you don't, we're going to be talking to a very different version of Dave, I have a feeling.
Hopefully I don't have to jump off a bridge or something.
No, don't say that, Dave. I'm sure everything will work out. So I'm sure you'll get power soon enough. And I know they're working diligently. The linemen are working extra hard right now. I'm passing all the big trucks when I'm out and about. So they're going to get you that power back. And but no other major damage, just lost power.
So I drove down onto Siesta Key 2 days ago. I actually was able to get onto the Key. I would say in terms of our area, a lot of trees down and stuff like that, not a big deal. We still have a house to live in. But on Siesta Key, not a lot of structural damage, just a lot of trees down, roads blocked. Obviously, the areas south to us, Northport, Englewood, Fort Myers Beach. Oh my God. I feel bad for them. On the same token, I would like to get some power back and get back to my life.
Well, we're going to send you those kind of positive thoughts that happens sooner as opposed to later, Dave. And we appreciate you calling in. Okay.
Thank you.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
This is the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. So Dave hanging up opens up a line, 877-943-9673, 877-943-9673. Call in with your hurricane update or your legal question this morning. This is the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. Again, 877-943-9673, or email me, Patrick at attorneypatricksmith.com. All right, let's go to Al in Venice. Al, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. So Al, how are you guys doing?
We're doing fine, but we're trying to find out about our power when it's going to come on. I know they got it in Nokomis, but we don't have it in Venice, and we're just seeing if we can get an update from somebody. Seems like everything I call, I can't get through. I don't know if you guys know or can find out. I'd appreciate it.
Who is your
Florida?
So it's Florida Power?
Yes.
I'm looking in the production booth just to see if we can check outages maybe and see. So I'm gonna have them check while we're chatting now to see if we can get you any kind of helpful information. Okay, we'll do everything we can to help you in real time. But how structurally, how did you guys do down there? Did you guys have any damage?
We were pretty good. We're hurricane. We lost a few things. I got a small problem in my garage. But nothing major at all as far as structural. But the power is a big thing because nothing's on. The pool is green. We're losing. What are we got? Losing our refrigerators. We got 3 of them, so we're gonna lose all the food in them pretty soon.
Yeah, I learned this during my Hurricane Irma experience. The insurance company refers to that as what we call food spoilage. So yeah, I'm so sorry. You guys, how many days have you been without power now, Al?
Well, since the day of the hurricane, Tuesday. So here it is Saturday.
So Tuesday to Saturday, no power at all. And
None.
guys, any sort of update for? I see Joe Weaver getting a microphone ready. Al, this might be good news. So if Joe Weaver's positioning the microphone, that means he's probably going to give you some sort of update. So, Joe, you got some sort of update for Al?
Well, I don't know if it's a great update, but I'm just looking here at what we have on the FPL outage report, and so far, it looks like they've restored 148,000, but there's still 124,000 that are down. So it was just a major issue in Sarasota County. It looks like that's actually the worst of all of them right now, which would obviously make a whole lot of sense. So they've done about 150,000 almost, but they still have about 125,000 to go, it looks like.
So it looks like you're in one of those 125. But the good news is, in the last few days, they've gotten 148,000 restored. So at least they're working on it. They haven't forgotten about you guys down there, Al. They're working on it diligently.
No, but the one biggest problem I got to get through, we have a wire down in my backyard.
Oh, no.
And they won't know that if they flick out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, so I will tell you this. We had a similar situation in our neighborhood back in Claremont where there was actually a downed oak tree that took a wire with it, and it was right on a bend. And people were, at night, there were no lights because there was no power. People were running right up on that tree and having to slam on their brakes. So I drove down to the main office to report it. I took pictures and actually just showed them, because if they don't know and you can't, I mean, they're getting tons of calls. So I actually physically just drove down there to report it. Have you thought about doing that, Al? Just driving?
I don't know where to drive to.
Okay. Yeah, I
I have
don't
no
know.
clue.
Yeah, if they have like a main office hub there or something, I don't know. But Al, unfortunately, it's not the best update, but it's an update. So hopefully that helps some. They are working on it, and hopefully your power gets restored soon.
Okay, sir.
All right, Al. Thanks for calling in. Alrighty, this is the Attorney Patrick Smith Show, 877-943-9673, 877-943-9673. Call in now with your legal question or to give us your update on how your part of the state is doing post-Hurricane Ian, 877-943-9673, or email me, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com. All right, let's go to Tampa, and let's talk to Greg. Greg, how are you in Tampa today?
Hey, good morning, Patrick. How are you?
I'm great. Very blessed to feel, and as these calls come in, I'm just, with each one, it's more and more of a blessing. We never lost power, and I'm hearing people are still without power, and that struggle, is a very real one. So feeling very blessed, Greg, is the short answer. How can we help you today?
Well, I'm one of those people still without power. However, TECO has marked our power restored twice now. So I've called in my third report of outage to them, and I have a little bit of concern for the general public and actually what numbers they're reporting to our state and local government agencies as far as the outage. Are they padding their numbers maybe?
Well, I don't know about that. I'm not even sure what motivation they would have to do that. I mean, I can see how in a general election you may want to pad some numbers in certain places, and that could be helpful to certain people. I don't know how padding numbers on electric power getting
Right, I
helps
I
anything.
understand
So
that.
I'm not
And
really sure why they would do that. That's probably if it's an error, I'm sure it's just an honest mistake. I don't see why they would do that on purpose, Greg. It may be a situation where the power is being restored momentarily and then going back down again. So there maybe it's a bigger issue, or there's multiple issues. Be my best guess, Greg.
Well, I'd like to say good guess.
I wish there. Listen, if I could snap my
Yeah.
fingers and turn everybody's power back on, I would be
I
happy to
understand
do it.
that,
But
but
it's one
yeah,
of those things that doesn't make sense. So, like in some neighborhoods, one side of the street has power, the other side of the street doesn't have power.
Right.
So
and in my particular situation, there are 4 houses in the middle of the line that do not have power.
right, I don't
Which is
pretend
strange.
I don't pretend to be an expert on electricity,
Mhm.
and you know when Joe has technical conversations with me, he always starts with this wonderful premise of saying, I won't be too technical, which is great for me because I'm not going to understand the technical side of it. So I don't pretend to understand what the linemen are actually doing and the grid. And I know just enough of the vocabulary to sound intelligent about it, but I know that it's an intricate system, and it's not like going down and flipping a switch and then everyone's all better. So
I fully understand that. I'm calling basically to let the general public know that, TECO's marking your power restored. So you might want to keep an eye on the maps to see if they've marked your power restored. And if not, you might want to call in a new outage report.
yeah, I think that's the wise thing to do is just stay on top of the report. And if it's showing restored and it's
Right.
not, just let them know you're doing the right thing, Greg.
Mhm.
And no other structural damage, just without power.
Just without power, property's fine. We cleaned up the debris. But yeah, we're at a point of frustration with TECO and multiple, having to report multiple times.
Well, Greg, we'll say a special prayer for all you guys again, that power, like Dave, gets restored sooner as opposed to later. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All
Hey,
right.
thank you much.
Thanks for listening. All righty. This is the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. I'm your host, Attorney Patrick Smith. 877-943-9673. 877-943-9673. That's your live and local number to be part of our show today. You can call in now or email me. Patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com is your email address, or call us, be part of the show live, 877-943-9673. Everyone out there, a lot of people are dealing with homeowners insurance. A lot of times it's the first time. I remember my first time I ever had to put in a homeowner's insurance claim was during the Hurricane Irma catastrophe. And there's a lot of kind of common tips that I found could be helpful for people. So I'm going to share those with you today. If you're doing a homeowner's claim, the first thing I think I can't recommend enough is document. Just go and take video and photos of all the damage. Look for the damage. Just survey everywhere you can, and take it down, as much documentation of the damage, and even the the areas you think may be undamaged. Video it. Document everything. And then I think the other thing you can do is, when you see an area that is damaged, mitigate that damage as best you can. You got a tree leaning, secure it. You've got a situation where you see something dangling from your roof, secure it, but take a photo of it. So if you see something you can do to make a dangerous situation more secure, do that. And then I think in addition to that, review your policy coverages. And then the biggest thing, do not be afraid to ask questions. When you're talking to your insurance company, your adjuster, your contractors, anyone, if you don't understand something or you don't know how something is working or the timeline for the repairs or what they need from you or what the expectations are, ask those questions. They're there to help, and they're happy to answer those questions for you. So they are there to help get you back to normal as quickly as possible. So make sure you are not shy about asking your questions. So, all right, we've actually got a call from Fort Myers. So I'm going to skip there. Scott in Fort Myers. Scott, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Patrick, how are you this morning?
I'm great, Scott. How are you doing in Fort Myers?
Been
better than I deserve, that's for sure. It's not pretty here, that's for sure. Personally, I'm blessed beyond belief. Family safe, first and foremost. All of the family from Naples, Bonita, Fort Myers, Lehigh, Alva, LaBelle, the whole clan is safe, healthy. No physical damages to anybody. Homes and property were definitely a mess. But our beloved county and city is pretty much decimated.
So how
calling
bad?
it biblical proportions, but I would have to agree with that assessment.
So water damage in your home?
Well, I lost a lot of shingling on the roof. There's a small hole in the roof where a tree came through. We wrote it out. We were going to plan on leaving, but it came up a little faster than expected. Had to work a little bit on Tuesday. Went in late so I could put the rest of the shutters up Tuesday morning, which is the smartest thing I could do. And then we were going to run to the East Coast to Fort Lauderdale, had a room, but we couldn't check in until Wednesday after 3. And I was like, I'm not getting stuck on the side of the road somewhere in the middle of the state with a Category 3, 4, 5 hurricane coming, And a new car we just bought a couple weeks ago, the battery's dead in it, so we decided to stay home and hunker and ride it out. And that is a ride I will never get on again.
Well, Scott, I love your perspective and the fact that, your family is all safe, because that's really the only part that's irreplaceable. The rest of it can be rebuilt. And
and of course with no power and no water and gas is starting to come back. I just took my wife to work. She works for a company that supplies people with power. So she went in yesterday and worked the whole day, and I'm probably going to be out of work for a while. My shop's downtown in Fort Myers, and as you know, downtown Fort Myers is.
Well, make sure to tell your wife thank you for us and all the other listeners out there who appreciate all the workers at the power companies working so hard and all the extra hours on in just to try to get everyone's power restored. And
coming back slowly. I just took her in, and a lot of the red lights that were out yesterday on the way home from picking her up now are working.
Well, that's a good sign. That means the momentum's moving in the right direction.
That's in the Lehigh, heading into Daniels, down towards Cypress Lake area. But there's a huge. This will be years, if not decades, worth of work to restore Lee County to some resemblance of its former self.
Well, I relate to that story a little bit. When you said you went into work on Tuesday, I went into work. Office was business as usual Monday, and I had a slated day of appointments Tuesday, and I got a text from my wife saying, "Yeah, you're staying home Tuesday." And the big concern was, if you get out somewhere, can you get back? And that was the concern. And as it was late Monday, even I got a call from a neighbor who said, "Hey, are you home?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, how far away are you?" And I said, "My GPS says I'll be home at 5:55. He goes, "Good, because I've heard that they're going to close the bridge at 6. And I was like, "Well, that's my worst fear, not being able to get to my family if something should happen." But thankfully, they didn't close the bridge, and we were able to make it home. But it's a tough spot to be in. But Scott, you and the rest of the Floridians down in Fort Myers and Sanibel and that area, you're not alone in this, brother. We're all standing.
No. I know this thing was beyond belief. I'm like on Tuesday, we're like, well, it's heading towards the Tampa area. We'll probably just board up, ride it out, and we'll be fine, And my niece lives in Newport Richey, Tarpon Springs. I called her and said, "Hey, come here," and she's like, "Well, no, I'm going to go see my sister in Denver." I went through Katrina. I have no idea. She grew up in New Orleans with my sister and went through Katrina, and then my mother's in Houston and went through Harvey. And the water got right to her front door and stopped.
Yeah.
Literally stopped at the doorstep. It was right at the welcome mat. So our family's been through more than our share, but you know what? We're blessed and we're stressed, but we're we're here and we're breathing and we're
Scott,
helping our neighbors and
after a day
doing what we can.
after
So,
a day of schlepping sandbags, I kind of
Yeah.
jokingly said to my wife, I said, "You know what sounds good right about now?" And she said, "What?" I said, "Moving to Omaha." That way you
well, see, then you got the tornadoes that you have no warning for, and you come out of the cellar and everything's gone, right?
Yeah, that's a fair point. I guess every part of the country has it, and I was just kidding.
Yeah.
I love the Sunshine
Yeah.
State, and I love Indian
My
Rocks
brother's
Beach,
in
but
California. He's in Napa, and he says you could always move out here. I go, why? So I can have an earthquake and watch the earth open up and swallow me. It's everywhere. You
well,
know?
there you go. That's true. We don't have
But
those.
my wife's
Thankfully.
family's from Michigan, and I said, no, I left the snow when I was a baby, and I'm not going back. So blizzards and driving in snow and being hunkered in living in a house in a cave for 4 months, 5 months of the year either.
That's true.
There's a price to pay for everything. This is Paris, and unfortunately, it's bad. After Charlie, I bought a new house and moved out east and got away from the water. And every storm since then, I've learned a little something. And I'll have to say I got to give total props to Ryobi, because we've been living off of Ryobi battery packs and figures and power packs and flashlights and radio, and even my garage door opener has a Ryobi battery pack that can open the garage door. So and I've been charging them in the car as we go somewhere. I got 2 little charger packs, and we're charging them there. And we got a generator, and we've been rationing. Turn the air conditioner, turn the refrigerator on for an hour, turn it off.
Yeah.
Turn the aquarium on for an hour, turn it off. That kind of thing. Turn the refrigerator back on, and gas grill, and a couple bags of charcoal, and we've been cooking out on the patio. But thank God the weather took a change.
Oh yeah,
It's been
the front. Unfortunately for you guys,
Yeah.
it pushed the storm to you guys, but at least it gave you some cooler weather in the absence of this power.
We got
Scott,
some cool, dry air. Yeah. So yeah.
well, Scott, we appreciate you
So-
taking the time to call in and give us an update on how Fort Myers is doing. Okay.
Yeah, it's bad. It's real bad. It's the only thing I've ever imagined and ever experienced. So,
Well,
yeah.
they're working on it,
It's-
brother, and they will rebuild it
Yep,
and get it
the
back.
troops are here for sure. Literally, the troops are here. They just opened a distribution center over at the Lee County Sports Complex. They got the staging area for all the military and all the first responders on one side. And now this morning, I noticed that they're actually opening an area. I'm not positive, but I think it is for bottled water, MREs, tarps. They did this with Irma last time. I was smart enough for Irma when I saw it was a 5 coming towards us. We got out of town and went to my sister's in New Orleans. I spent 2 weeks there because we couldn't get back. No gas. But I just want to let people know that they are staging for distribution at the Lee Sports Complex where the Twins play for distribution for MREs, bottled water, tarps, that kind of stuff like
So
they
you
did
said-
last time. It's all National Guard troops at the gate and all throughout there. There's tractor trailer trucks lined up, and they opened the gates this
So
morning as far as I can tell.
Scott, let me repeat that for all the other listeners. You said the Lee Sports Complex, where the Twins spring training is, they're doing a distribution center there.
Exactly.
So if you need water or other basic essentials, you can go there. It sounds like the Cavalry
I
has
would
arrived.
double check. I would double check online verification, but I saw the military guys in the truck there this morning in a line of cars coming out onto 6 Mile Cypress and tractor trailer trucks lined up inside there.
All righty. Well, Lee County
So-
Sports Complex, if you're down there in the Fort Myers area, Scott's
Yeah.
telling you head there if you need water, basic supplies, and the troops
Yeah.
are there to help out. So, Scott, we appreciate you calling in. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, and God bless America.
All right. God bless you, brother. All righty. 877-943-9673. That's your number. This is the Attorney Patrick Smith Show, and I'm your host, Attorney Patrick Smith. 877-943-9673. So that opened up a phone line. Feel free to give us a call now with your story on how your part of the state is doing or your legal question. 877-943-9673. All right. Let's go to a very patient Angelo in Sebring. Angelo, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show.
Good morning, Patrick. How you doing?
I'm great. Angelo, you're Sebring. That is Highlands County?
Highlands County, yes.
Yeah, so how is Highlands County doing?
It depends on where you're at. Considering we were in the direct path of the storm unexpectedly, from all the projections, we were not expecting that to come straight across us. But for where I'm at in South Sebring, Highway 98 toward Loretta, there are a lot of small towns out here. Most people don't know, but we did pretty well. I think we got hit more at the of the storms and the back. So Tuesday night we had lost power at 7:30. Somehow we got power back at 7:30 Wednesday night. I think it was Wednesday night. So it was like 24 hours we were out.
So Highlands County power. You have power there. You're not without power.
Most of us have Duke out here, and there are a lot of places that do not have power. The section of housing is called Spring Lake.
Okay.
It's hit or miss out here. We have the underground lines, and I don't know how we got it up after taking a drive around, seeing the telephone pole snap like toothpicks, all the stuff around. We were expecting at least 5 to 7 days of being out. So our small area has power. I know several other places have power. Highway 27, which is our main corridor, was out of power Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, and of course nobody had gas. Nothing was really going on. I have multiple jobs. I work for the Department of Corrections, so I'm essential personnel with them, and Avon Park Correctional Institution, which is in North Highlands, almost Polk County. We have the Lake Arbuckle up there, which is just overflowed its banks. The water's everywhere at the prison, at the institution. But we just got power back yesterday as well there. And DeSoto County, or I think it's DeSoto County, for our Arcadia. There's a prison there that I also work with, and we just call it right now Lake DeSoto because they got so much rain out there. And they got hit pretty hard with Irma 5 years ago. All the roofs ripped off. Same thing happened again. So they're not in best of shape, but they are. We're making do. Prisoners are all secure, so don't worry about that.
Angelo, I'm so glad you called in because I had not even thought about that perspective of what if I have a loved one who's incarcerated? How do I know how they're doing? There's not really like a hotline where you can call in to the warden and be like, "Hey, warden, I just want." So I appreciate you calling in with that sort of institution by institution breakdown. I think there's a lot of people out there who are very appreciative of that information because they may have loved ones in those institutions, unfortunately, and hearing how the situation is there is probably going to give them a little peace of mind. So I really appreciate you calling in, Angelo. I think that was hand to God that you called in with that today, and you probably helped a lot of people out there.
All right, thank you. You have a great day.
You too, Angelo. Thanks for calling in. All righty, this is the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. I'm Attorney Patrick Smith, 877-943-9673. Give us a call now, 877-943-9673. That's your live and local number to call in, be part of the show today with your report on your region of the state. How is your area of the state doing post-Hurricane Ian? And as always, you're welcome to call in with any legal questions. So 877-943-9673. Or you can email me, patrick@attorneypatricksmith.com. By the way, for those of you who don't follow me on Instagram, if you go to @the Attorney Patrick Smith Show, you can actually see I did sort of a hourly, well, not really hourly, sort of a routine update on the storm as it started to the finish, and posted the videos of that of the storm from Indian Rocks Beach, all at the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. So if you go to Instagram @the Attorney Patrick Smith Show, you can see all those videos of the storm, sort of the calm before the storm, and then sort of the aftermath there from the Indian Rocks Beach perspective. All right, next we're going back to Sarasota, and we're going to talk to David. David, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. Hey, David.
Hi, Patrick.
Yeah, David, we can hear you. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Hopefully you, your family, your listeners, everybody's safe. And
yeah, so far we haven't had anyone call in and report any fatalities. Praise God for that. So at the end of the day, it's just been structural damage at this point. We heard a little bit about flooding and a tree falling through the roof. So how did you fare in the storm, David?
That's fantastic. Structurally, we're fine. We have oak trees on a couple sides of the property, so I have branches down, but again, no property damage. And one of the big trees came down, and it fell back into the preserve. So we were blessed to come out of it the way that we did.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's just such a spectrum. and you have some damage or debris or whatever, and then you turn on the television and you see what they're going through in Fort Myers and Sanibel, and it just puts everything in perspective. That you just think about the scale of the loss, and you wake up, and some days you just wake up and you think, oh, the challenge for today is going to work, and you don't realize how lucky we are to have those days until you get days like the ones we just had over the past week. And like a previous caller said, it's a great opportunity for humanity to shine, but it's terrible that we have to have these sort of tragedies to give us that opportunity. And it's one of those things that it will get better, but it's not going to be pleasant for the meantime. It's just an unpleasant time, and we're certainly praying for all of you guys out there. But David, you're in Sarasota now. Earlier we had a caller in Sarasota who does not have power. Are you on the power side of the grid or the non-power side of the grid?
Well, we are on the power side. Our lights flickered maybe a half a dozen times throughout the day of the storm, but we've maintained power, thankfully, and so we're in good shape.
Well, good. And David, we appreciate you calling in and sharing that update with us. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, David, have a great Saturday. Yeah, you got a question? Go ahead, please.
Oh, yeah. I've got a two-part question. I mentioned the large oak trees. My neighbor has large oak trees as well. So the first part of the question is, if a neighbor's tree falls on my house, whose homeowner gets to step up to the plate and take care of any damages? And the second part of the question is, my understanding, Patrick, I can trim back branches on a neighbor's side of a tree that's based on the neighbor's side. I can trim those branches back to the property line. What say you?
Yeah, I think if there's a structure from your neighbor's property that's encroaching on your property, you obviously have the right to remove that item. Now, there's the legal right to do it, and then there's the neighborly way of doing it, David. So I think what I would do is, if you got a neighbor who's got a tree, say, hey, look, I know that this tree's got some overhanging branches. It needs to be trimmed. I'm going to pay a guy to come out and trim just those branches. So I'm just giving you a heads up, but odds are it's not just those branches that need to be trimmed. So you got a couple different paths to success here, David. Number one, you can just be the ultimate awesome neighbor and say, I'm going to pay to trim the whole tree for you because part of it's over my yard. Or say, hey, to the neighbor, how do you feel about splitting this cost with me, since part of it is on my yard, but part of it's also your tree? And you can just sort of do that sonar strategy. Just put that out there, see what bounces back. I mean, it may be a neighbor.
I like that.
It may be someone who comes in and just says, oh no, I actually got a guy coming out next week, or I've been meaning to do that. Thank you for reminding me. I'll take care of it. He may take it off your plate. So I think just a little communication with the neighbor will make that problem go away. The first question, though, about the homeowners, I think it starts with the homeowner that actually has the tree on their property. I don't think that necessarily means your insurance won't be involved, but I think the primary insurance responsibility will be the property owner where the tree is physically located.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think both are going to be at play, because it started from your neighbor's property, but then it came over to your property and the damage occurred on your property. And I think it's going to be one of those sort of dueling policy situations. And it may be such a case that both policies are actually involved, but odds of you having to deal with it, probably slim to none. That's something usually the insurance companies will sort out.
Okay. So third part of the same question, would a neighborly written letter indicating concern and an expressed desire to address a tree that's overhanging from a neighbor's property, could that help in the unlikely event that kind of a claim ever occurred?
Yeah,
kind of a CYA letter.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's call your insurance company, ask them that question. Just ask them point blank. I mean, it can be a hypothetical. You can call in and say, hey, hypothetically, am I better off sending this letter? And if they say yes, send it. If they say no, then I mean, it's up to you. But for me, it's more because it's a neighbor. It's about preserving that relationship, because you want to go outside and wave at someone in the morning and be friendly. You don't want to wake up and have this grudge match or feud going next door, especially over something like a tree. That's not the hill you want to die on. And I think that, the letter could be good, but I think the in-person conversation or that sort of Mayberry strategy of just walking next door, shaking their hand, looking them in the eye and having a conversation probably makes that problem go away, David.
Okay. All right, very good.
All right, David. Be safe down there in Sarasota, okay? Thanks for calling in.
You too. Thanks, Patrick.
All right, you're welcome. All right, let's go to Ryan in Port Richey. Ryan, welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. How can we help you today?
To answer the incarcerated question, historically, the inmate would have to initiate the call. I don't know what it is now, but I'm asking a mundane question. If you can put your wet legal hat on, I have signed a satisfaction of mortgage, but have lost or misplaced the checks that I received. Now, if and when they become reactivated, do I have a chance of losing the payment?
I'm just gonna cut you off, Ryan, and not to be rude, but just to tell you the short version is I need to see the paperwork. So I'm gonna hang up with you, give out the office line, call me at the office next week, get me the paperwork, and I'll give you the answer to that question, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome, Ryan. All right, that office line, by the way, if you want to reach us during the week, 877-754-6764. So to schedule at any of our office locations, Sarasota, Clearwater, Claremont, the Villages, 877-754-6764. That's also good for the Sun City Center office as well. 877-754-6764. All right. Cindy in Polk County. Cindy, you're going to be our last caller of the day. Welcome to the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. I've got about 30 seconds, Cindy.
Hi, real quick, son. My husband's staying at a memory care facility. When we lost power, I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to say this fastest. They moved us to the common area only during the nighttime. There is no AC in any of the other facilities except for the common area.
Mm-hmm.
What is the legal things about that? Because when I went in, I was told that when they lost power, everybody was supposed to be in the AC area the whole time, but the only time we were there was during the night.
Yeah, I don't know is the short answer to your question, Cindy. I don't know what the answer would be to that. I'm sorry. I don't know if there's some sort of covenant of quiet enjoyment with regard. I mean, the question is it a negligent situation? Was there some sort of breach of a duty? I could put you in touch with a personal injury attorney if you wanted to see and explore that route as far as what the standard of care was, okay?
Okay, like I said, just curiosity.
Yeah, no, but thanks for calling in from Polk County. Everything okay there?
I haven't been out since I came back from the facility, and the lights were out down 27.
Okay.
Police were lined up where in main downtown area on 27. So traffic was on a constant, like yellow lights.
Cindy, they're giving me the sign. I got to let you go. But Cindy, we appreciate you calling in, and thank you for calling in and reporting on Polk County. Okay.
Thank you.
All righty. This is the Attorney Patrick Smith Show. That office number again to reach us at the office, 877-754-6764. Our Gators prediction, we have not forgotten this week. I don't know. We play at some no-name school, so Gators big. That's my prediction. Everyone stay safe, God bless, and go Gators.